So how do you encourage buy-in from your community or customers or clients in environmental?
I think you have to you talk in terms of what they're interested in, and I think everyone sort of touched on that so far. And you have to be willing and able to educate as well. I was actually telling Chris a story upstairs. I stopped by an open house this weekend for a house where I'm familiar with the builder. I was talking to the agent who's selling it, and I was explaining that I've been encouraging the builder to try to shoot for some certifications, so maybe he is implementing some green features to the homes. And he's like, nobody cares about that stuff. I mean, you really think they do? And I'm like, yeah, well, it's like, I can't say that for sure everybody is concerned about the planet and the effects that the home might have there. But I think that, most of the people that might be interested in this home are going to care about saving money on their energy bills, and I think that, most of the people considering them are going to, be concerned about the, a healthier home for their families to live in. And, I told them, I was like, I really feel like it falls short because, builders will make the investment, but then there's not a real estate agent that can properly educate, the consumers about the advantages of a home like this. And, well, yeah, I think I maybe need to learn some more about this stuff, It's like, and it's the truth. I mean, it has to, you have to be willing and able to explain in terms of what's, important to different people with different interests.
Okay. So for you, it's like getting the right people educated to communicate.
Yeah, I mean, some people really are, interested in the environmental impact, and you have to be able to explain, how this is being made, or any other product out there, how it may impact them in the way that they care about. And if they're not interested in that, maybe there's some other things that they would be interested in.
I think it's important to have the right attitude too, because when an uneducated consumer kind of comes through your door and it's kind of on the fence, I mean, whether or not they choose to do some of these things could be completely dependent on how you react to it. I mean, as a designer, as a builder, as an agent, when we have people come through with, if our attitude, if we're enthusiastic and we're talking about what our green story is and we're doing what we're supposed to do and walking the walk, they pick up on that energy. And if you really want them to get committed, it's surprising how much further, they might be willing to go. But if they walk in the door and you're like, well, I've heard about this lead thing, where it's not really that great, mess around with the paperwork, it's a big phone. My designer here, this person that I trust who is more educated, because most of the time we're in a position where we're much more educated than our consumers are about what's, that's why they come to us in the first place. We don't really produce anything, other than ideas. So if we're not educated about that, then, we can't hope that they're going to get to the right place.
Yeah. So with helping spur the green movement forward, how do you see the role of government subsidies playing a role in your different businesses? Or is this primarily driven by the private sector in terms of encouraging green practices, or is there a role for both? Or is one playing in this sort of sphere of encouraging people to live more green or live more sustainably hurt the overall movement?
I think, especially right now where, we're in a pretty tough economy, I think it's, difficult for people to make investments. And, even if it may have some long-term payoff or maybe for a very good reason. And I think that if you look at certain areas around the country where there are incentives from the local governments, and I'm purely talking about real estate because it is more my expertise. You are seeing much more buy-in to implementing features like solar or wind energy and even higher efficiency windows and insulation. So I think that it would absolutely have a positive impact if there were those incentives in place. And you can even compare Maryland and Virginia. I mean, there's in Maryland where there's greater, or Montgomery County where there's greater incentives, you're going to see a lot more interest in implementing some of these features.
Yeah, and I agree absolutely. The incentive programs are, and we do a level of advocacy. really try to push, engage with the municipal representatives in various ways. The incentive programs are very important for a number of reasons. One, it does make it a lot easier for the average, for the residents to move forward with that kind of investment. I mean, and it also is a business and entrepreneurial generator because a lot of the businesses that are, a lot of this is still, an emerging industry, industry that is relatively new, and in order for those businesses to succeed and to be able to stay in areas and provide the services they provide, those incentives bring those customers to them. I mean, it's that kind of balance is very important. So the rebates and incentive programs, and there are places that are being very creative with how they do that. And there are a number of them that we can relate with. I mean, everything from the ability of certain incentives to stay with the property through various changes in ownership is also one of those things that is a way that is an incentive for people to move forward with those kinds of investments. So I think it's very important that everything takes place.